Hey, it's Mike Draper with AWC TV, and we have a really cool guest on today. She's actually a contributing writer for AWC and has been for a while. It's Carrie Guenther, and we also call her the Window Ninja in the article. And so she's going to be on board with us today. Carrie, thanks for taking some time and talking with us today.
Thanks for inviting me.
You know, your writing style and your articles are very well received to our audience in the magazine. We get a lot of compliments on it. Give me your background a little bit of you've been trained as a writer, I think, and so give us a little background of how you really started writing or love that.
I was wondering if you're going to ask me about this. So I'm not a trained writer, but I've been writing since I can remember, and I've always been really interested in telling stories. So that's kind of how that started, and I've just always written about my life experience. And so when I started window cleaning, I just started writing about that. It was just sort of a natural progression.
Yeah, that's really the cool thing about it. I think your perspective when you write is very different than some of the other writers. You're kind of telling a story, or there's a background to it, and you can kind of feel there's some depth there.
Cool. I'm glad. I feel like there's depth too.
Well, when you sit down to write an article, just tell us a little bit, what's going through your mind? How are you coming up with the tale, so to speak?
Well, I don't have any employees, so I work by myself. And if you've ever done that, you know that you have hours and hours and hours of time with yourself in your own head. And so that's kind of how they start. The stories start while I'm working. I love to write about people more than anything. And so since I'm mostly residential, my clients kind of inspire the stories. And then, as I'm working, I just kind of piece them together in my head. And then by the time I sit down at a computer, which is rare, I hardly ever use a computer unless I'm writing. They just kind of flow out. And, and I hope that what I write is received well.
Yeah, well, good on you. It is, and they're always interesting stories, and I think you do a nice job with that. And I don't know you all that well, but I get a sense from your writing that your clients you have a really good relationship with your clients. It almost is like you're friends with them. They know you, you know them.
Yes.
And how important do you think that is really for maybe other residential window cleaners that may be trying to build their business or whatever?
It's everything. It's everything. It's so important. It's almost like the personal relationships that you build are just as, if not more important than the work that you do. They see me once or twice a year. And because that's how we do windows in the Midwest, for residential. And yeah, especially I wrote that article about my elders, my oldsters, what did I call them?
Yeah.
The elderly people that I clean for are probably my favorite clients, because they are just so eager to hang out. You know what I mean? Half the joy for them, besides the window cleaning, is the interaction with me. And a lot of times they'll make me coffee or tea and give me a snack or whatever, and I just sit with them. And and then there's the younger people with families that are busy, and they just give me their garage code, but then they come home at the end of the day and we hang out. And it's very cool. I think I'm not sure that I would have the same experience if I had commercial work, because I don't feel like you connect as much with commercial clients. But the residential clients, it's I get to see how they live, and their dogs and their kids and all that kind of stuff. So I really get into that.
Yeah, and I think that I watch the industry a lot, and I see the workings and things going on, and you hear all the talk about growing your business and growing it fast and all this stuff. There's one thing that gets missed in all that, I think, and that is specifically with residential, we are a customer service business, and you cannot build relationships like you've got with your clients in 6 months or 1 year or whatever. You build them over time. but it also it makes it your company almost bulletproof, because having that relationship with those people, it's going to be very hard for somebody, that come into your marketplace like, I want that house. They're going to be hard pressed to get that because of the relationship that you have with your clients. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes a while, and it takes patience, and it takes years.
Now, would you say, Carrie, your window cleaning business, I'll bet you get a lot of referrals.
I don't advertise. Literally, at one point, I think for the first 3 years of my business, I sent out reminder cards in the spring and the fall. And then I even stopped doing that because it's so much postage and so much trees wasted and whatever. So I just started getting enough referrals that I didn't have to do that anymore. And so now my clients know that they need to call me. And then they also know that I'm going to give them a little discount for every, signed up person that I clean for that they recommended. So that's how I advertise now.
Yeah, it's cool. I was in Florida one time and I seen a carpet cleaning company, and you know how everybody will put their website and phone number and everything on their van or truck. Anyway, what it said on there was it showed the company and showed the website, and it said by referral only. So there's almost this stigma, right? That well, you can't get me unless somebody refers you to me. But it's kind of cool.
I'm an exclusive service, and I don't even have a website. I don't want to be available to just anybody. I want my clients to know that they can refer me to their friends because they know me and they know their friends, and they already know it's a good match. So that's like reassuring to me as a single woman to know that I'm kind of in their hands and it works out for me.
I love it when a business owner is doing exactly the opposite as everybody else. It's so cool, and that's my mentality. If everybody else was going one way, I'm going the other direction because I don't like to be like everybody else. So that's very cool. Good on you. Hey, you wrote an article in AWC, I think a couple issues back, about client diversity. And I think that was a really well-received article. The readers really liked it. You live in Minneapolis area, and so that area is very diverse in and of itself. A lot going on with medical and universities and all this stuff, so it's a very diverse area. Speak a little bit about the background of that article and why you think it important to be in tune with these different diverse backgrounds so that you can appeal to them as a window cleaner.
Like I said in the article, I've always been drawn to people who are different than me. Because when I was growing up, I moved around a lot, and we were always relocating. And so I was always the new kid in school. Like, I switched schools a lot. And so the kids that I would automatically become friends with were like the outcasts, the kids that were different in some way. And so that's just like a natural progression for me. But so before I had my window cleaning business, I was a house cleaner for about 5 years. And so I got to know people who went to the same mosque or church or whatever, and really interconnect. A little bit hard. It's like hard, like I said in the article, it's hard for them to trust people. But once they do, you're golden. It's like they pass your name around to everybody. And Minneapolis is surprisingly diverse. I mean, we have one of the largest populations of East Africans, Southeast Asians, tons of people from India and Pakistan. And I've just always been really fascinated with people who are different. So it's just natural for me to want to work for them and work with them. So that's kind of how that came about.
Okay, and two, I think you hinted at it a little bit in the article as well about, sometimes cultures are different. And so you have to be in tune with what their culture is so that they do respect you. This is maybe a silly one, but I'm just saying it may be in some cultures where when you come in the house, your shoes come off. That's the culture. And so wearing booties or wearing shoes throughout the house or whatever, you may have to adapt a bit to that culture so that you're not offensive, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not just that, but it's like, you need, for Muslims, for example, you need to keep in mind the prayer times. Like if you show up in the middle of prayer time, that's awkward. You know what I mean? Like you want to respect their time to attend to their spirituality and respect that. And yeah, it's just kind of a different vibe in the household than an average American household, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm used to that with all my travels and stuff. That's interesting to me. And it's like, it's awesome for me to kind of fit into another structure like that. So.
Yeah. Of all the article submissions that we get, nobody has ever brought, so this is being different again, but nobody's ever brought an article title like that forward. And I thought it was really cool. And like I said, we got a lot of compliments on that article. So again, great job, and glad you did that. So you're a window cleaner, so we would be hard pressed not to ask a couple of these window cleaning industry questions. So what squeegee and tools do you use?
Oh boy. Okay. This is looking really bad right now. I haven't polished it and packed it away for the winter, but I should. So this is my vintage Ettore 1980 something squeegee.
Cool.
Yep. It's a little bit stained because I did my final window cleaning job of the year. I used like blue window cleaning fluid that you use in your car.
Yeah.
And I've never worked with that before. And it stained my brass.
Yeah.
Like a blue color. So I got it. But anyway, my handle is like custom wrapped by a guy out in Lake Tahoe. He did this for me with some paracord. So that's my money maker. And then I've also got.
So let me, just because we're in video and podcast here, you're dealing with that's a 14-inch Ettore brass with a swivel handle.
No swivel.
Oh, no swivel.
Well,
okay.
It does swivel, but I don't usually.
Okay.
I have another, so I just started working with, are you there?
All right.
I'm on low battery, so I might have to plug in here. I started working with a Mormon swivel head.
Okay.
Because I started just in the past year doing a lot more pole work. And so I've got a swivel head in my arsenal. And then I have a couple of other Ettore squeegees that are cut shorter for like cut ups.
Okay.
And French windows. And then I use a short mop instead of a long one.
All right.
Because it's lighter. And then I've got this thing, which is, it hangs on my belt and it holds on my rags. And again, my friend from Lake Tahoe made this for me out of paracord. So that's kind of a custom made thing that I use. And then otherwise I just use like a 6-inch Triumph scraper, but I've because those steel blades are so expensive, I've started and also they can scratch the glass if you're not careful. I've started using steel wool this past year as well, which I never worked with before this year. So those are kind of my tools.
Tools of the trade. All right, cool. You do something very neat. A lot of people, especially in the Midwest, we're cold weather states. I'm in the Midwest too. And so especially residential window cleaning comes to pretty much a screeching halt at some point in the winter months. And a lot of companies scramble around, and I did for years too, and I had my company. What are we going to do in the winter? How can we increase revenues? And you got like a totally different mentality. You're like, you know what? I'm done. Check out. Bye. I'm headed to Thailand. How did that come about? How do you, I mean, obviously you've been going over there for some time now, but initially, how did Thailand, why was it Thailand that come up?
In 2002, I went to Thailand for the first time as a contract English teacher. So I got a job at a Thai university teaching Thai students, Thai English majors mostly. I would teach somewhat like in like the hotel industry and I think I did some classes for like some nurses and just adults in Thailand. I would do like different groups of classes, but mostly I worked at a Thai university, and I worked for that 1 year. And then I knew I wanted to go back, but I came home and I got married and I did all that stuff. And then that all fell apart. And then I went back in 2009 for another 3 years. Same school. So I have this little town in Thailand that I have like a life in, you know? So,
Yeah.
and, you know, I have my Thai friends there and I have a Thai family that I stay with. And it just gradually just became like part of my lifestyle. And so now I find that it's the perfect match to my industry or my business, because things come, like you said, things come to a screeching halt in like December.
Yeah.
And I try to do what I can to make ends meet until I leave. And that's just basically like dog walking, house cleaning, babysitting, dog sitting. And I just kind of stack my money when I'm making it and I don't spend it. And then I live off of it during the winter when I go over there. And I don't work when I'm over there too much. I mean, I worked a little bit last year, but window cleaning in Thailand is not the same.
Right.
It's not what it is here.
Right.
So yeah, it just sort of, it worked with the business that I got into. It worked really well for me to just take off in the winter and not stress about it. But
Yeah.
it takes a while to ration out your money that way. You know, it took me, I'm still learning how to do that. I'm still learning how to, stockpile my cash when I'm making it in October and May and whatever my busiest months. And then I got to kind of make it last until April, till I start working again.
Yeah, I think it's really neat because, so many people are chasing after, something, whatever it is. It's a bigger business or more money or whatever. And you're right, it is a little bit of a challenge to, stack your dollars and save up or what, but you're really using your business to kind of do something that you want to do, and it funds that. It's almost like a means to another end, right? You're using it to do things that you like, and I just think that's really neat. I think it's, again, very different, not what a lot of people do. They're trying to chase a bigger business or something like that, but you
that way. I mean, I really feel strongly about this. Like, we spend so much of our waking hours working. And so the first thing that I feel strongly about is that you should enjoy what you do. Like, it boggles my mind that so many people spend their lives doing something they hate for money. That has never made sense to me. So it's really important to me to enjoy whatever I'm doing. Like, I refuse to make money doing something I don't like. Mm-hmm. That I established a long time ago. And then the second thing is, like, I mean, okay, a disclaimer is I don't have a family to support. I'm not married. It's just basically me. And so I do have the luxury of like choosing my lifestyle and doing whatever the heck I want, whenever the hell I want, and that's amazing. Like, I realize that's a blessing and it's not something that everybody has. But yeah, it's really important to me to live my life and, spend my time, and while I'm healthy and young and strong and capable and stuff, to spend my time doing the things that I love to do. Because I don't really see the point in slaving away at something that you hate and then spending all your time doing that just for money. That doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't fit with my values. But I know a lot of people feel that way. And I think as a society, we've all kind of been conditioned to feel like it has to be that way. And I'm totally not supporting that. So I'm supporting like doing what you love, staying healthy, self-care, all the things that, make life amazing.
Yeah, well, you truly own your business. You're not a slave to it, and that's pretty cool. Carrie, we really appreciate you being on. Everybody what's that?
Sometimes I feel like I'm a slave to it, just like everybody does. Like, sometimes I'm just like, can't handle the stress, but it's only a few months out of the year that I feel like that. And honestly, I feel like it's worth it, because then I have, 2 or 3 months in the winter to just sit in a hammock and read.
There you go. Carrie, we really appreciate you taking some time today, sit down and talk with us. If you haven't read any of her articles yet, we featured her on the cover of AWC Magazine in our current issue. Please check it out. But also, she's a regular contributor in the article Window Ninja. And check her out more often, and make sure you enjoy her stuff. Carrie, thank you so much. A pleasure always. And we look forward to talking to you again sometime. Stay tuned for our next episode of AWC TV by following us on YouTube, Facebook, or our website, awcmag.com.